Guess we shouldn't have taken our case so lightly, even though they're new to the scene.
Yeah. Supposedly Selma's the one who spearheaded the campaign to scoop up all the ex-Tojo. Turns out he's teaching the next generation of thugs about protection money, loan sharking, mugging. He's like an unemployment agency for shitheads. They've got 50 full-time bodies so far, but if you include part-timers and other associates, they may be well over 2,000 strong.
That's a lot. Even half that's a lot.
The Yakuza left behind a gaping power vacuum in this town. Even if it wasn't our case, someone else would have swooped in. So much for peace and quiet in Kamurocho, huh?
Saru-san's calling. Hello?
It's Shirosaki. Sorry for the wait. I found our file on Ahara's victim.
Ah, Mamiya-san, right? Yui Mamiya?
Yes, she lives with her family in East Ikebukuro. I'm about to make a quick house call.
Awesome. Then I'll be right over.
Good. See you sooner than later, I hope.
I caught all that. You go on ahead, Doc. This one's outside my area of expertise.
Okay. I'll head back to the office when I'm done.
Alright. Anything new, like sub-story wise, or anything new popping up around town? Sure doesn't look that way. Alrighty. I guess story time it is. At least now I can skateboard.
Oh, perfect timing, Yagami-san. And here I was about to go without you. Are you ready to visit Mamiya-san?
Ready as I'll ever be. Time for the head home. Time to head for the home of Ahara's victim, who doesn't know we're dropping by. Lovely.
Well, the best we can hope for is that she'll hear us out.
That's about the best you're gonna get.
Remember, we're speaking to a victim here, Yagami-san. One whose assailant we defended in court. If we had tried to make an appointment, she probably would have declined outright.
Not sure showing up unannounced is much better. But let's just hope she's willing to talk.
Yes, there's no way around it. It's a risk we had to take.
Well, here goes nothing.
Yes?
I'm Shirosaki from the Genda Law Office, the attorney for Mr. Akihiro Ahara. You may remember me from the hearings.
Why are you here? Don't you know it's rude to show up at someone's door uninvited?
I understand, but we have a pressing matter that directly concerns you. If we could do this another way, we would. I apologize for any inconvenience.
I'm sorry, but the trial's over and done with. You know I can legally turn you away.
You're right, but I'm only asking a moment of your time. Please, would you mind?
Even Saru-san can whip up a solid approach for this. We're really out of luck here.
I don't have time for this. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Wait, before you do that. Sorry to butt in. I'm Yagami, a detective helping Sauri here out.
And?
Can't this be the end? I need to talk her into opening the door somehow.
Are you aware of the trending video that's leading people to believe Ahara committed murder? Thing is, the victim was confirmed to be alive in Yokohama until the morning of your own incident. And since Ahara was on the train with you, they're ruling him out as a murder suspect.
So, what is it you're getting at?
just trying to ensure you're in the clear from any of that unfortunate business. If we could do this now, we'd never bother you again. All we need is 10 minutes of your time.
How absurd.
We're only trying to help, but if later would work better for you, we could always come back another time. With our supervisor, of course. That visit would probably be more formal. There'd be paperwork, audio tapes, you know the drill. You'll want to clear your schedule.
I really don't have time for any of that.
No, I understand it, and it's entirely our fault. We thought we'd do this casually, but we really should have been more by the book. But it is a murder case, so we do have to make sure our paperwork is in order here. Now, would you prefer to schedule a date to accommodate a more formal interview?
You said 10 minutes if we do it now, right?
We'll make it as painless as possible.
All right. Hold on.
We really do appreciate it.
Well, I'm impressed. I'm also not sure I should trust a word you say ever again.
Really? I did get us in the door, didn't I?
I'm joking. I do appreciate the help. Now let's not screw this up. This is likely the only conversation we'll have with Mamiya-san.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hi, kid.
Hi there.
Hi. Again, we apologize for the intrusion.
Let's just get this over with already.
Victim.
Okay, bye-bye.
We'll make this quick.
We could use a conversation over with Mamiya. Let's take a quick look around for something useful.
Suspicious.
Child's drawing, probably of his mother. They even put it in a nice frame. How cute. Children's bicycle. Obviously that belongs to the boy we just met. What, nothing to say about the baseball bat?
Hey.
If I remember correctly, you and Mamiya lives here with her husband and son. Seem pretty happy in this picture.
Uh-huh.
Yes. What does that tell us about Mamiya herself?
Suspicious. Suspicious.
Let's see, Mamiya, wife, mother, office worker, and victim of Ahara's perversion. They got on the same train in Ikebukuro, where she ended up having to suffer through Ahara groping her. Yes.
Hey.
Sorry, Shisaki, experienced lawyer, again to law office, practiced there too until a few years ago. Looking at her now, you wouldn't guess it, but she's even done undercover work as a hostess at a popular club. That she has.
Uh-huh.
Damn, they got a big ass sound system.
What the? Hey.
Yeah, Mommy has a 6-year-old son. Cute kid, kids just started grade school. I'm pretty excited by visitors dropping by. Looks like his dad's not home yet though.
So, Doc, I've already told the police and the court everything they could want to know about that morning.
I'm sorry to put you through this again, but would you mind going over those details with us?
What else is left to discuss?
I understand how pressured you might feel.
I've gone over this so many times. I wonder if pressing charges was even worth it.
No, what you did was both brave and inspirational. Many victims are afraid to come forward for any number of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Your voice might give them courage to find their own.
Ironic, hearing this from that predator's defense team.
Well, perhaps.
Would you mind walking us through that day from the beginning?
It's nothing so mysterious. I was just on my way to work when some man grabbed my butt. That's all it was.
Some man.
Nothing else was out of the ordinary that day?
Correct.
Not to pry, but where is your husband today?
Still at work? He usually doesn't get home until later.
Hmm.
On that note, I have to feed my son, so let's get this wrapped up soon.
We'll try our best to. Moving along. On that day, you and Ahara-san boarded the train bound for Ikebukuro, correct? Had you ever seen the man before then?
No. At least not that I can recall. How many times must I go over this?
Just let us ask our questions, we'll be gone.
Lawyer friend here already knows everything I have to say. What do you gain by getting me to repeat things?
That's the thing. Yagami-san here is a specialist. He can take whatever you repeat, analyze it, and draw up an entirely new conclusion. Right?
Of course. That's exactly why I'm here.
Great, now the pressure's really on. It's a recurring thing lately.
In the security footage, as you stepped onto the train, it looks like Ahara-san stepped right behind you. Were you aware of his presence at this point?
I was. It felt like someone kept pushing up against me with no sense of personal boundaries. I remember second-guessing myself at the time, thinking it was normal for the train to be that packed.
Then the train took off while you were stuck in that situation.
Yes. And then I felt the back of his hand against me.
Mm-hmm.
It kept getting worse from there, to the point where he went under my skirt. And the pig had the nerve to write it off as an accidental brush on a crowded train. But that kind of touch wasn't accidental. He even grabbed at me.
Truly awful. And I do sympathize. I've also had to turn in an abuser like that. Personally speaking, some men can't wait to debase themselves at the first opportunity.
Why would you say that and look at me?
I just stood there, frozen. I couldn't see who was touching me. I had no idea what to do.
You couldn't see who was
I
touching you.
wanted to scream. But what if he just played it off? So I decided I would bear it till the next station.
Are you okay, Mommy?
I'm fine, sweetie. We're just having a bit of grown-up talk. Are you hungry?
Uh-huh.
Then go read your book and wait over there for Mommy. We're almost done.
This is going to be ending soon no matter what. Should keep my questions brief. Until now, I haven't had any contradictions between Mommy's account and security footage.
You said the abuse lasted the entire 6 minutes between Ikebukuro and Shinjuku Station. Did you see the groper's face at any time during that span?
No. I was too terrified to look. And I thought, even if I did, he'd just pull away and escape.
Mm-hmm.
But just as the train was pulling into Shinjuku, I reached back and grabbed the hand on me. That's when I saw his face. Of course, he shook me off as the doors opened, but I'd already gotten a clear look at him. He must have known I could turn him in at that point. So he ran, and I chased after.
Right. That was captured by the station's security cameras.
Great job tailing him in such a crowded space. On that note, did you ever happen to lose sight of Ahara-san while running?
His cat was pretty easy to spot, and no one else was bolting off the platform like that, so I never lost sight of him. At that point, I could feel my voice returning, so I just screamed, "That man grabbed me!"
I'm glad there were good Samaritans nearby.
Yeah, whatever.
For sure. And there were a lot of smartphones out, so I figured there was no way for him to get away with it. I was so relieved.
That's
I
great.
see. I think I've got the gist of it. But now we've got a piece of evidence that contradicts what you've told us.
What do you mean?
Your Mommy's story lines up with their testimony from the trial, but there's one thing that contradicts. Security footage at the Shinjuku station. On numerous cameras recorded the groper attempting to flee the scene with the female victim in pursuit. The recording smartphone by one of the commuters shows Akio Hara. The report trace elements suspicion taken from Akio Hara's hands immediately after his arrest. His fibers detected on him matched the fibers of the victim's underwear. what contradicts what she's said. Recorded the groper attempting to flee the scene with the female victim in pursuit. Yes. Oh, I didn't go back far enough. The murder footage. Okay.
Well, on the same day, at 6:30 a.m. in Yokohama, a student teacher named Hiro Mikoshiba was sent off to work by his mother. But he was soon abducted near his home, only to be found dead much later in Ijincho.
Is that...
According to the video, Ihara-san here is the murderer.
what?
He killed Mikoshiba in cold blood to get vengeance for his bullied son. His kid was about to graduate high school, but instead, he took his own life. So Ihara took it upon himself to punish his son's tormentor.
That's awful.
But now we come back to the issue here. If this footage is authentic, then Ihara-san couldn't have been your assailant. The victim's estimated time of death and Ihara-san's time of arrival in Tokyo simply don't allow for it. It's just not possible for someone to make that commute. But there's the flip side. If Ihara-san was in fact your assailant, it would mean this murder footage is a fabrication.
I don't know what you expect me to say after all this.
Right? Now you know how we're feeling. That's why we came to see if you had any leads for us.
So that's what this is about.
Mm-hmm.
After hearing your story, I have no doubt you endured a lot that day. Which would obviously mean that murder video was faked.
Then, who shared that video? And why?
Wish I knew. Based on the quality, something this convincing would need quite a budget. Whether it's CG on top of real murder footage, or just a rock-solid AI creation, no way it was cheap. So why go through all this effort to fake a murder? Who would benefit from it? But I have to say, I feel much closer to piecing this puzzle together with your help today. Thank you very much for your time.
Yes, and rest assured, this will be the last time you see us. Our apologies for the unexpected visit. And for dredging up unpleasant memories.
It's fine. So long as this is really the end of it all.
Yagami seems to have learned something. Curious.
I'd like to report Mamiya-san's account to the rest of the team. Can I count on you to be there?
Absolutely not.
Let me give Kaito-san a heads up.
All right, then I'll see you there.
Yo, me.
Hey, I just got back to Kamurocho. Everything good? Any news?
All good here, man. What's with you? You worried our kid got to me or something?
I mean, they did run their mouths about stabbing us in the back. But if you're good, I'm good. Anyway, I'm heading to Genda so Sari-san and I can go over what we learned from Mamiya.
You're the boss. As for me, I'm calling it a day.
You do that.
Alright, just one last glance over. Nothing new. Nothing at all. Alright. Forward we go. Alright, gang.
Are we ready, Yagami-san? Let's start
Ready
with
as
our
we'll
visit to
ever
Mamiya-san, if that sounds reasonable to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start there.
So, the victim's story is completely in line with her court testimony, huh?
That's correct. There wasn't anything new to pick up.
Unfortunately.
In which case, should we look into the murder video instead? Like, figure out how they made it?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Whether that tape's fake or real, someone had to put it online, right? Do we have any theories on who that might be?
Definitely
Well,
people.
the footage showed enough of the surroundings to make the crime scene clear. As somebody who's been there, I can confirm that the blood splotches match what you see in the footage. Which means...
Who uploaded Hara's murder footage to the internet?
the murderer's accomplices have to be the ones who posted it for him.
Yeah, I can't see it any other way.
I also agree with Yagami-san.
But in that case, what would their motive be?
Is
Maybe
just
they
a
wanted
big
to
fuck
make a
you.
mockery of the police.
Yeah.
Or even the whole system.
Huh?
Like, look, we killed him.
We
You
know
can't do
Ihara
shit
got
now.
himself convicted for groping, so he'd have an alibi for Mikoshiba's killing. But then, his conspirators turned it around by uploading the murder video online. Almost as if to say, look how he got away with it.
I see. Yeah, that does make it sound like he's taunting them.
That's well and good, but I'd like to shift gears.
By all means.
Let's talk about the actual fabrication of the video. How does one go about that?
Well, for example, the true culprit would be taped murdering Mikoshiba. Then Ihara's face would be copied and blended onto the killers. That's how they'd approach it in a Hollywood movie.
But then, wouldn't you be able to see traces of it being faked?
Tsukumo-san reported that he's found nothing of the sort in his analysis.
We've been down this road before. If we take the stance that the footage is fabricated, we have absolutely nothing to work with.
Then let's tackle this from the stance that the video's actually real. If that's the case, there has to be a flaw in the groping issue. I think we've collected enough evidence to find it too.
You do?
Before meeting with Yui Mamiya, didn't you mention the possibility of Ihara using a stand-in?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps the real Ihara murdered Mikoshiba in Ijincho, then swapped places with the imposter so he could be detained.
But we couldn't find an opportunity for the swap to happen, remember? From the moment he set foot on the Ikebukuro platform, Ihara was constantly on camera.
Except.
But wait, that's not entirely accurate, is it?
Huh?
Wasn't constant on camera.
Remember how we mocked up a diagram of the Shinjuku station platform?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, wait! That's it! You could be onto something.
Damn right I
There's
could be.
a point where Ihara wasn't on camera at all.
What is this point you speak of?
I've already told you about
Let's
this.
all go over the diagram so that everything will be clear. Here's what I want you to see. What the?
This spot here.
It's very brief, but there's a moment where Ihara and Mamiya-san can't be seen by the security cameras. The dotted lines on the arrow represent the camera's blind spot.
It does appear so. So you're saying this is where the groper, the fake Ihara, traded places with the real one?
Can't say it's impossible, right?
Right. Except if that actually happened, Mamiya-san would have been right behind them at the time. Could the two really swap places without her noticing?
In a crowd like that, I think it's feasible.
If that really was Ihara's plan, then I'd say he was being careless.
Careless? How?
Well, on the day of the incident, the station was packed for morning rush hour. That means there was no solid guarantee the assailant could make the switch. He could have been nailed by any random passerby before reaching the blind spot.
Good point. Not only that, if Mamiya-san had called for help while the train was still moving, then the first Ihara would have been caught before even reaching the platform.
Oh, I mean, yeah! Called it.
Think about it, Yagami-san. Why would Ihara's accomplices meticulously plan out every last detail of this alibi, only to leave such a crucial component to chance, as Hoshino-kun pointed out?
Oh, just doing my job.
That's why he sat at the station for
True.
so much time.
Good work, Hoshino-kun. In fact, I think that may back up my own take on it.
Yeah?
What if everything, including the appearance of leaving the plan to chance, was part of the plan?
Can you expound on that?
I'm saying I agree that such an airtight alibi wouldn't have allowed for contingencies.
Mommy
And that
was in
takes
on
the
it.
question to another level. Just how far did they line up the pieces in advance to make the swap work?
Are you saying there's more to it than we discussed? What did we miss?
Everything on the day of the murder, including the train groping, was planned from start to finish. What else can we possibly deduce?
I know this won't go over well, but what if Mamiya was colluding with Ahara all along?
Huh?
Bear with me. Let's say Mamiya was in on this, and knew about the imposter in advance. If that's the case, the swap could happen right in front of her, and no one but the three of them would know.
You're saying the victim of a groping conspired with her assailant beforehand? That's ridiculous.
I don't suggest I'm fond of, but I have to consider the possibility of Mamiya playing a part in this conspiracy.
Let me just say, I'm only trying to work out how a swap like that would be guaranteed to work. Now, if Ahara and his stand-in both know that Mamiya will pretend not to have seen them, they can trade places in the blind spot with impunity. Conversely, if Mamiya wasn't in on the plan, the idea of a swap would never work. We can say with certainty that she would have seen the swap, so... She could have even called attention to the real Ahara the moment he stepped in. That way, the people around her would be focused on chasing the correct assailant. The rest is as we know it. They caught Ahara and detained him until the police showed up.
Hold that thought. If your theory is accurate, what about Ahara's trace evidence? Remember that fibers of the victim's
that is the
underwear
one
were
I'm not
detected
sure.
on his hand.
If she was in
Well,
on it, though.
That can also be explained by Mamiya
Yep.
being in on the plan. For example, while the stand-in was showing himself at the security cameras, Mamiya could have easily provided Ahara access to a pair of underwear at the same time. Maybe the stand-in loitered around for so long because he was letting everyone else get themselves in place.
It's not impossible.
We can work out the other details later. But the point is, Ihara's murder alibi is shot if Mamiya was involved. In summary, it's possible Ihara disgraced himself to secure an unshakable alibi for Mikushiba's murder.
I'll concede that it's an avenue worth pursuing.
And when it comes to the prosecution, they can't just admit they got the first case so wrong. Plus, they can't question Ahara about Mikushiba's murder. In fact, their only option is to claim the tape was faked.
Mm-hmm.
So he managed to make a farce out of the system after all.
Well, his court case for his son's bullying did get more or less thrown out, didn't it?
Sure
The
did.
school, the investigative committee, and the court all agreed there wasn't enough evidence to convict anyone. No surprise for me that the guy held a grudge against the system for so long.
Hold on. Before we all decide on this,
What's up?
the obvious question to me is why would Mamiya be party to such a crime? She appears more than financially stable, and she's even raising a child. So why would she do something so enormously risky as helping establish a murder alibi?
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far yet. But maybe she was promised something that far exceeds the risk. Or maybe Ahara has some kind of dirt on her even?
Enough to make her help with a murder? What sort of secret would be big enough to force someone into that corner?
53-year-old patrolman, married office worker, and mother. No connection between them so far is the train station itself.
What info do we have on Mamiya anyway? Maybe we can spot a connection to Ahara through her profile.
I'll pull her information. Just a second.
What if they're having an
Oh.
affair?
I just thought of something else those two would have guaranteed by working together.
What's that?
If Ahara wanted to use this crime as a murder alibi, he needed it to blow up into the public eye. But if he had chosen a victim who stayed silent, then nothing would have come of it. A solid plan would need to eliminate that variable, which means Mamiya being an accomplice was crucial to Ahara's success.
That's true.
Looks like Ahara pulled one over on the prosecution then. Had his accomplices right where he wanted them, even his victim. Once we learn how he's connected to Mamiya, we can root out the rest of his team.
Let's see. According to her file, her maiden name is Yui Suzuki. 30 years old, so that's consistent. Originally from Ota, Tokyo. Attended a private high school called Kurakawa Academy. Later graduated from Toto University.
Huh.
Met her husband on the job, apparently. Her husband, Taichi Mamiya, is an industrial designer at Techno Zeta Inc. 6 years ago, she gave birth to their only son, Sotakun, who's now in 1st grade.
Hold on. You said she went to Kurakawa Academy? I heard that name in Ijincho. If I recall correctly...
It definitely wasn't that one. Someone spying on me? I think that's the right one.
When I went to scope out the murder scene, there were these 3 guys watching the detectives and me. They told us they were just checking things out. They mentioned their Kurakawa friends,
Oh,
too.
right.
You have any ID on you?
Will my license work?
Kake-san, age 30.
Akaike-san, age 30. Mommy is 30 as well.
What's that got to do with anything? Aren't we trying to find a connection between Mamiya and Ihara?
I found the Kurakawa Academy website. Looks like they're pretty prestigious. It's in Tokyo, specifically in Otai. Pretty close to where Mamiya lived. Oh,
What?
the girls there get such cute uniforms.
Shut up, Hoshino.
You little... You want to start all over from the bar exam?
Wait, I've seen that uniform before too, actually.
Where?
On an old picture of a teacher at Seiryo High, Sawa-sensei. Ihara's son had confided in her.
Oh, shit.
Is she actually a Kurakawa grad too? I don't know Sawa-sensei's exact age, but she could well be 30. Maybe all of them are even classmates.
Could this mean they're actually linked? The victim and her up-to-now unrelated assailant?
It's a tenuous link at best. Could fall apart any time. But no true detective alive would pass it up.
God damn. The web of shadows continues to grow. My God. Chapter 6, Converging Heat. Previously.
A previously unseen link is
I was kind of
established
suspecting that,
between the
yeah, she was in
groper
on
and
it.
the victim.
Even before the whole
Charting
body
out their
swap thing, I was kind
relationship
of...
is akin to tracing a spider's web. But with each false thread ruled out, only the improbable truth remains. Ihara orchestrated the groping as a diversion. And by tarnishing his name, he secures both an alibi and his ultimate
Wait, the woman that
revenge.
showed something to Sawa, was that Mamiya? Interessante, interessante. I'm learning shit. I'm doing the big think.
Hiro Mikoshiba's murder was sparked by the bullying of Toshiro Ihara, who committed suicide 4 years ago. The graphic video that hit the net showed the world how Toshiro's father, Akihiro Ihara, had brutally avenged his son. We also know the father had accomplices. On October 7th at 6:30 a.m., they forced Mikoshiba into a vehicle, took him to an abandoned building, and gravely injured him. Then, around 7:30 a.m., the time frame when Ihara killed Mikoshiba, the other conspirators were probably nearby, even though they weren't on camera.
At the same time, 30 kilometers away at Ikebukuro Station, a man who looks like Ihara is caught on camera. We'll call that guy the stand-in. The stand-in made sure he was in front of the cameras for more than an hour before boarding the 9:06 a.m. train, the same one Yui Mamiya was on. After committing sexual battery on that train, he meets the real Ihara in the camera's blind spot, and they change places. That's how he established a false
Does
alibi
that
for
haircut
Mikoshiba's
does look like
murder.
the woman who handed
And
something to
achieve
Sawa.
this,
Handed
the
that image
victim,
to
Yui
Sawa.
Mamiya, had to have been in on it from the start.
Sure are a lot of people getting their hands dirty for Ihara. Mamiya, Ihara's standing on the train The guys who kidnapped Mikoshiba? How did some troubled cop manage to recruit so many allies?
Well, one person that comes to mind who might be the key to all this is Yoko Sawa. She's a teacher at Seiryo High. She was the only adult Toshiro-kun ever told about the bullying, and she supervised Mikoshiba as a teacher before he disappeared. On top of that, she's a Kurokawa Academy graduate, same as Mamiya. Those trespassers at the murder scene were also from Kurokawa. Since they're all about the same age, it's possible they were all classmates.
So you're saying these classmates are also Aharo's murder accomplices?
If we consider Yoko Sawa the central link, that's very possible. We do know that as a teacher, she felt deep remorse for Toshiro-kun's suicide.
She mentioned about something.
Maybe she recruited her old classmates to help Ihara take his revenge.
Yeah, that's not to rule that out.
She mentioned something about there being a suicide when she was
Why is
younger.
that?
It's just, she's a really good teacher.
We
She's
vibing.
passionate, responsible. She's always putting
If
the students
fucking
first.
thinking hard about goddamn
she
murder
regrets the
conspiracies is
past.
vibing, then yeah,
A
we
student
fucking
died
vibing
on her
heavy.
watch. And now another of her students, Mikoshiba, is found murdered. So if it turns out she's involved in that, I doubt I'll be able to trust my own judge of character ever again.
But she could be.
Yeah,
Believe it.
I'm going back to Ijincho tomorrow. The plan is to bring up Mamiya's name to Sawa-sensei and see how she reacts. Until then, let's not jump to conclusions about her involvement.
I don't know, it makes sense though.
All right.
Make
Can
too
I
much
chime
sense,
in
though.
real quick? I was looking into Kurokawa Academy and I stumbled across something that may be relevant.
What's that?
Well, it happened 13 years ago, but there was an attempted suicide.
That Sawa mentioned.
A third year jumped off the school's roof after being thoroughly humiliated.
And that's why her and her gang would want to avenge the Ihara's kid so badly. Earthfly kind of conspiracy or Epstein kind. Definitely more on the Epstein side of things. Not quite on an Epstein level, but if I remember correctly, the student lived but remains in a coma to this day.
Actually, Sawa-sensei mentioned that. She said it was a boy in her class.
Right, that's gotta be the same case then. The student's name was Mitsuru Kusamoto.
Yep.
He's 30 now, but still in a coma.
Huh, and all that info's on the net?
It wouldn't be normally, but his mother happens to be Vice Minister of the Ministry of Health. Ever heard the name Reiko Kusamoto?
The Ministry of Health, again? They're getting
Not
involved?
once.
I have. It was on the news. They were talking about her and her son.
Vice Ministers rank above most government officials. This lady had quite a position of power at the Ministry of Health.
Well, do you remember the uproar in the Health Ministry when Vice Minister Ichinose got arrested?
Of course
Apparently, his successor couldn't contain the resulting chaos, which is when Kusamoto-san got tapped to lead. They couldn't afford another criminal scandal, so her promotion was out of the blue.
I do. Ooh,
She was
that
a safe
was the
choice,
woman.
a veteran with tenure and experience.
That was the woman who handed an
Not
image
to
to
mention her
Sawa.
son's tragedy made people see her as a more sympathetic figure. Very popular. She's kind of a new generation heroine, so to speak.
Is any of that relevant to the case at hand, though?
Potentially.
Who knows? But Reiko Kusamoto and Ihara both have children who were bullying victims. I don't think that's a connection we can afford to overlook, if you ask me.
Okay, so Kusamoto's son. What exactly happened to him?
Let's see. He was bullied by a fellow third year at his school, Shinya Kawai. The records say he harassed Mitsuru-kun every day, in and out of school. Well, one time he even stuffed dirty rags in his mouth.
Yeah.
That's so cruel.
Yeah, and the teacher was a real piece of work. Apparently he knew, but he just smirked and said, "Don't overdo it."
Oh, I remember now. The media pounced on that one hard.
If they were classmates, then
So
both
like the game
Sawa-sensei and
franchise
Mamiya would know about
just with your so addicting.
And
I
maybe
mean,
because
listen,
they
there's a
couldn't
reason
save
I love 'em.
Mitsuru-kun, their guilt left them open to Ihara's persuasion.
I'm not gonna recommend the
To
shit
prove
that's
that,
gonna be like,
we'll have
yeah,
to hear
no,
from
it
them
was okay.
directly. I'll talk to Sawa-sensei first thing
Yeah,
tomorrow.
you know, it was decent enough.
That'd be helpful. In the meantime, I'll be working on Ihara's appeal.
Nah, if I'm gonna fucking hype
It's
something
clearly
up, it's
missed
stuff that
something
I got
important in
fucking
the
mad
trial,
hooked on.
Since Ihara is apparently innocent of sexual battery. Being that he was out committing murder at the time.
What started as a simple harassment case sure has blown up big.
Indeed it has, indeed it has. Guess I'll head back to the office. Yeah, I guess. Alright, anything worth checking out before going back? Looks like that's a no. Ah, shit. Now we're good. Bada boom. Bet the lucky cat. Free money. Wait, wasn't Kaito supposed to? Oh yeah, I can finally check the board. See if I have any side cases. I do. The saga continues. Ryan's rival appears. Oh shit. Oh, Ryan is fucking hiring us. Interesting. It is I, Ryan Acosta, Shinobi Sensation from the Shadows. It has been quite a while, Master Yagami. You may be excited to discover that I've opened a dojo in Kamurocho. However, a rival dojo opened up soon after, and began poaching my students left and right. I wish to discuss appropriate countermeasures, and thus I have contacted you. Shall await you at M-Side Cafe. Fair warning, I'll have activated my chameleon camouflage techniques. Keep a sharp lookout. You'll find that my ninjutsu has improved over time. Believe it. Oh god. Well, this takes me back. I haven't heard from Ryan in forever. Ran into him 3 years ago. Still find it amusing that American Ninja came to help me fight a gang. Hell yeah, he did. Now he's opened a dojo in Japan. Not sure what kind of person would go there, but apparently he's good enough to have a rival. Anyway, need to find out more details. Peanut. Peanut.
Look who it is.
I get it.
Stay safe.
Hell yeah, I'll take a 4-leaf clover. Alright, let's go see what my boy Ryan wants. Can't just leave my boy Ryan in the dark. Are we gonna see him without his, like, is that his chameleon technique? Is the fact that he's gonna be, oh, M-Side, yeah, M-Side's the theater. That's right. I was thinking of Majore. According to what he wrote, he's supposed to be hiding in the area. Where exactly? I'm sorry, what? Hi, Ryan.
Suspicious.
Aha, there you are. Hey there, Ceiling Ninja. Or should I say, Ryan? Oh. 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 It is I, Ryan Acosta, Shinobi Sensation from the Shadows. Believe it! My man.
No way.
You haven't changed one bit. No, of course not. Master Yagami, from controlling one's breath to conjuring fire, a modern ninja must blend both secrecy and spectacle. Gosh, I can never keep up with you. My man. Oh, ninja arts aside, have you been keeping well?
Yeah.
More or less. You seem to be doing pretty good yourself. Is it true you've opened up a dojo? Ah, yes. In order to spread the Ryan Ninja way throughout the world, I poured my entire fortune into establishing a base here in Kamurocho. Sounds like a big step for you. But as I understand it, rival dojo started poaching your students? Lamentably so. The seedlings I've done much to cultivate were plucked, one by one, leaving my garden for the future all but barren. Oh. Damn, that's no good. But on the brighter side, doesn't that mean ninjas are getting more popular? Kamurocho having 2 dojos alone must be a sign of that, right? Indeed. Since we last met, I have mastered the art of video streaming. Very useful for disseminating ninja intel and promoting our public image. In fact, before my disciples subscribed to my dojo, they had first subscribed to my channel. Gotcha. There's this rival of yours. Oh yes, the Russian. Huh? He's Russian? You mean he's another foreigner? What is it about Japan you guys love so much? Everything. Now then, my rival is a former Spetsnaz by the name of Borscht Kalishnikov. Borscht Kalishnikov. What a name. With stature like a bear and physique like a tiger, he's unlike any foe I've faced.
Seriously?
Former Spetsnaz? You mean the Russian Special Forces? It would seem so. He is known for pushing his disciples to the point of injury due to the harshness of his training. And he still gets students, huh? I don't see how brutal injuries appeal to your average ninja enthusiast. That is indeed the mystery. One of my own was sent to infiltrate, but alas, his efforts proved fruitless. One of your own? Spirits, release! Dark doppelganger delusion!
Huh?
Whoa, what the hell? Believe it. At this point, I'm not sure what to believe. Standing before you is the last of my disciples, Master Jorozeman Asakusa. At the sturdy age of 78, he is my most faithful. Jesus Christ. He's my most faithful successor. Though he expended great effort to infiltrate Kalishnikov's dojo, he succumbed to the trials they put him through. I've brought unbelievable shame to myself. Nice. What kind of trials are we talking here? The trials are rigorous tests Kalishnikov designed to determine a shinobi's skill. You cannot join his dojo unless you overcome them. That is why I humbly request that you infiltrate in his stead. Let me get this straight. You want me to go undercover at a sketchy Russian ninja school to discover how they stole your students? That is the essence of it, yes.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm game. You are a man of great merit, Master Yagami. Please, use this to aid you on your mission. Is it a ninja disguise? And this is the ninja outfit, yep. Authentic Japanese ninja garb. Designed by me. Tell me you want me to wear this? Of course I'll wear it. Every ninja needs proper attire.
Seriously?
Yeah, and I'm not a ninja. Well, once you've made up your mind, make your way to Senryo Avenue. A reception ninja will be standing guard at the dojo.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll at least give it a shot. A reception ninja. Fuck yeah, it's a reception ninja. Senryo Avenue. Senryo. Ah. Shit, that's my turn. No. Ouch. Bada boom.
What a waste.
Where's he going? Alright.